to another episode of Suburban Sex. Tonight we have an exciting one because we not only have one guest, but we have two. A married couple that I've known for a couple of decades now. Went to their wedding and have just loved them from the very beginning. And they have loved us. They've been listening to the podcast, and I love that they get to actually participate this time around. So, everyone, welcome Gina and Tony.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for
Glad to be
having
Hello.
us.
here. It's always fun to get some day one listeners on because, I feel like you have history with us. And even though it may be the first time that you're actually seeing me, it's like I feel like, I don't know, it's a tight knit family. I love that. So,
Yeah. We've been fans from day one, waiting for each new episode to drop. So, yeah, excited to be on ourselves.
I love it. Oh, that's so great. That's great. So, Tony and Gina, so we would love to kind of get a little bit of your background. How long you guys have been together, what brought you together, and really just a little bit of your
Yeah.
history.
Well, we've been together about 15 years. We were both married before, twice. Each of us married twice before.
Ah,
We finally got it right the third
okay.
time around, we like to say.
That's right. Third time's a
We
charm.
met.
Brad, that's what I'm saying too.
We met back in the olden days of online dating. We met on Match, back when there wasn't a million different apps, and it was an exciting time. Finding each other in our I was getting ready to turn. Tony was in his 40s.
She was a hot 39.
That's right. I like to say we met when I was in my 30s. I turned
There you
40 like
go.
3 days after meeting him. So
It was great.
yeah.
The phrase is,
Love it.
it took me 43 years to meet her, so to find her. Yeah.
Yes, it
Oh,
did. Took us a while to find each other, but worth the wait.
you two are absolute lovebirds.
Thank
I love
you.
it. And the cutest couple
Thank
on
you.
Facebook, I
Thank
will
you.
say that too. They have the best pictures.
Yeah.
You guys just always, and you always do fun things, you know? So let's talk about that too, because you met when your kids were at what age? And you're still able to now to have multiple dates and do fun
That's
things and
great.
get
Our,
creative.
Yeah.
our our youngest is 22 and all the way to 32.
Okay.
So, and we just have one,
Nice.
girl at home, and she's going to nursing school, but we get to do it whatever we want. It's not like you. I hear you guys and your frustration, what goes on in the daily. You're exhausted by the time 8 o'clock, and Hot Tub Brad is really horny by now. Just.
Yes, correct.
But no, it's not going to happen. You're exhausted.
But we've been there.
Yeah,
We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
We were both
Right.
there. Yeah. When we met, our kids were younger. And it was definitely a balance, doing the every other weekend and with the kids, and trying to find alone time and times for dates and lots of family time together. It wasn't all fun, hot dating the whole time in the beginning, but as our kids have grown, our relationship has evolved, and we are really enjoying ourselves, being almost empty nesters.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So, for those of us in the thick of it, at what point does it typically get better?
He's ready to write this, put it on his calendar.
Yeah, you would think maybe like when they're in high school, but it's still a balance. We have a funny story where the kids were all out of the house for the evening when they were in high school, and we were taking advantage of that time, and we were going hot and heavy, and one of our teenage sons came home, and he came in, turned up the stereo really loud, as teenagers will do, and I was like, oh. So I sent him a text. I said, that is really loud. And his response was, well, so are you. So You know, it
No.
yeah. It,
She asked him to turn it down. It's really loud, and yeah. Oh my gosh, so
so
embarrassing.
give
Oh
me a second. It was like, oh, okay, yeah. So it doesn't just stop abruptly. It's an
no. Right.
evolution,
Hmm.
and you know, again, we have a grown adult at home with us, and we're still conscientious about, you know,
Mhm.
making sure doors are locked and we're not too noisy at times and things like that. So, but man, when we got the house to ourselves, it is on.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yours are 9 and 10, Remy.
Mhm.
I was just hoping you were going to say, yeah, when they turn 11 and 12, or, it's all good.
You never know when those kids are
Oh,
Well,
so
gonna
close.
take flight and, you know,
well,
leave the house. So
even in if they're in high school and they're involved in sports, you're just going to be busy. You're not going to have time for any of your personal time.
yeah,
Right.
you have to
And
make time. You do. You
Hmm.
have to make your relationship
yeah.
a priority, and I think we've done a pretty good job at that. I
Oh
think,
yeah,
you know, we like each other. We still like
yeah,
each other after all
yep.
these years.
That's a win.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
So,
And y'all do fun things. You like each other, you put time into each other through dates throughout the
hmm
week, throughout the weekends, but and trips as well. I mean, you guys are really putting the effort in, and I think you have to do that from the very
right.
beginning.
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
love
yeah,
it.
I would agree. And we do things that are, you know, geared towards keeping our sex life spicy. I
Hmm.
mean, we're pretty
Mhm.
intentional about it. We've done, you know, there's a sex institute with classes in the town that we live in, and we've gone to classes,
What?
and, you know, it's like, well,
Yep.
we're not having issues, but it's always fun to spice things up a little bit, right? Learn something new or get a conversation going.
So take
And
us through just,
Yeah.
a 2-minute version of what a class would look like. Are you
It,
watching
several
models, or is it
several different
video, or?
classes, whether it's BDSM, uh,
Booty Basics
Ooh.
was
booty
one that we went
basics,
to.
just a questionnaire about how you know your likes and dislikes in the bedroom. A
Hmm
whole list of
Yeah.
yes and no stuff. You know,
Yeah, we
not.
went through a really good exercise in
Mhm.
one of the classes where we, you know, it's all couples. Um, and no, there's no nudity. We're not watching anybody do anything. These are instructors
A
that
side
work
note,
there.
a side note to
Sorry,
this,
Brad.
I like to
Yes.
go to watch to see who else is kind of freaky, like for lack of a better word. But I want to see the other. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just the
Look
way
around
I
at the
look.
other couples.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So go ahead, honey. I'm
Um,
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, we had a really great exercise once in one of the classes where they gave us a list of every kink and, you know,
Mhm.
activity that you could possibly think of. There had to be have been 200 things on that list.
Hmm.
And we took some time to rank each one, either a yes or a hell no or a maybe, you know. So at the end, then we came back
Okay.
together and, you know, it was really good fodder for conversation.
Hmm.
I mean, we feel like we know each other pretty well after all these years, but,
Hmm.
you know, there were some little surprises there and some,
Right.
oh, huh, uh, didn't know you'd be open to that kind of thing. Yeah.
Tony's got his list. He's actually gonna go down one by one and
Oh,
let us know
gosh.
what
It's
is
funny. I just threw that away. I was cleaning out my drawer and I saw it. I'm like, oh yes, I should have kept it.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
you should have kept
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But I'm sure there were things that surprised you. That's so
Definitely.
interesting
Yeah.
if they've got such a
Yeah,
long
for sure.
list.
There, you know,
Yeah.
we looked at it together and
Hmm.
oh yeah, of course, you know, some of those things we definitely knew, but others, yeah, some surprises and it gets you talking, you
Right.
know.
I'm looking at my.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
it get you
And it's stimulating.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Who self-identifies
Yeah.
as the higher sex drive part of the relationship, or are you both? You feel like you're the.
Maybe I'm just a little
I
bit ahead of her. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah.
Does that sound right,
I would
Gina?
agree.
Yeah, but it's diminished. When we met in our, I was 43, she was 39. I'm like, I was horny. I sounded like a older hot tub Brad, always.
Oh my gosh. Poor hot
But,
tub Brad. Wow, he's really going
but,
to take over the calls.
I,
It's okay. He's
yeah,
the perv of the group.
yeah.
You can tell he's been
But
listening.
no,
Tony's been
yeah,
listening.
if you start a support group, I'm in. Okay, so
Uh,
But anyway,
Well, Tony, you're gonna have to lead
okay.
it. You've been to all these
So
classes now. You're the expert.
it's so weird. I had this sex drive, and then it just kind of diminishes, and just even until
Mm.
recently, yeah, until recently, I'm like, okay, I'll wait because when I wait for it, it's pretty damn good. So
Instead of,
instead of
having sex
getting
Yeah.
5 days
frustrated,
a week, you know,
or instead of
maybe one
being
or two.
frustrated, I wait for it, and when I do, it is good. And then if it's really good, she's gonna want it again soon. So I'm like, okay, I got my plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's been 5 or 6 days. Yeah, we need to, let's at least just go make out.
I thought you were gonna
Let's go
say,
get naked and,
Yeah.
start
I,
loving on
I
each
thought you were
other.
gonna say, I'll give it to him. He's suffered enough.
That's not what I was going to
So this is not something that gets talked about a ton. So I'm just curious, what does that look like in terms of, you know, multiple times a week to once a week or every other week, or how would you say that has changed
It
over
just
time?
okay. I say it used to be anywhere from 3 to 5 times in our 40s,
say.
and
Hmm.
now it's one to
Damn.
twice.
Yeah. And I would
Would you
say
agree with
Nice.
it's
that,
just
Gina?
over the last 5 years.
Hmm.
Yes, it's gone down a bit. I think over the last couple years, it's like we were really coming in at an average of about 3 times a week, and
Hmm.
now we're down to one
Okay.
or two.
But when we
Um,
first started dating, we were
well, you know how
we
that is,
Mm.
honeymoon
we were
period. So
we were
Yeah.
like rabbits. It was crazy. I'm like, where did I had to
Rabbit.
look, and I'm like, is that me doing this? I'm like, yeah, it is.
yeah, I think we're sexually compatible. We're compatible.
Hmm.
But is
Yes.
this counting solo
Mhm.
time or is this just
No, just me and
that's
her.
separate?
No,
And
yeah,
I believe in
occasionally,
what Gina said, being sexually compatible. Oh my God, I believe in that
Right.
so much.
yeah. As
Mhm.
far as Remy, obviously, you're talking about masturbating. There are times where you know, he'll say, I'm going to go do this. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. That's perfectly fine with me. And there are other
Right.
times where I'm in the mood and he's a no go. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm going to go get myself off. And,
Mm-hmm.
you can come join me if you
Mhm.
want. And occasionally he'll slide
Mm-hmm.
on in, maybe watch, and maybe
Slide on
things
in.
Slide
turn
on
out a
in.
little bit better than we
Well, you
expected,
know what? Let me tell you a little funny story.
High
She
five.
used to be busy on Sundays, every Sunday. So that was my masturbation day, Sundays. I'm like, yes. Like,
I
Okay.
I would go to church and
Shaking
he would
hands
stay
with the
home and
devil
yeah,
masturbate.
every
And we're
Sunday.
not kidding.
Oh
yeah. Well,
We
she
laugh
was,
about that.
she was she had a little job.
Yeah, you don't, right. I had a little, right. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. I had a Sunday morning
ah.
commitment with the
Yeah,
Lord,
yeah,
and he had a commitment with,
with
Oh.
the devil.
himself. Yeah, the devil. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
and it's
We
so
laugh
funny.
about that.
Oh my gosh.
We're
We always sealed the
reinforcing
deal.
religious stereotypes here.
Yeah, yeah.
Those people with the
Yeah.
religious shame, you're just
That's
making it
right.
worse.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Whatever works, you know? Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we do
That's
try to
great.
keep it spicy. I travel a bit for work. He used to travel a lot for work.
Hmm.
His travels slowed down, but you know, it's really nice actually to have a little bit of a part time, because after 2 or 3 days, I'm really missing him and he's really missing me. And when we come back together, we're really happy to see each other. And that usually, you know,
Oh.
um, ends up with us making love. And, we try to send photos and sext when we're
Hmm.
out of town. So,
Always.
Yes.
yeah.
It's usually
I know. See, Brad's missing
I
out
try
on
to send
that.
them of me too, pictures of me. So,
Yeah, yeah, he'll
Oh,
send me pictures. I'll
Tony.
send him pictures. They're not terribly explicit, but they're not anything you'd want, accidentally
mm,
sent over to someone else. So, and that's happened.
Right.
That
Right.
once that did happen accidentally. So,
Your selfies are luring her in.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, you may need to
I
send
mean,
us to selfie school here just so we can learn the art.
believe me, I'm not
It's
so
working.
confident, but she loves it, so I do it. Mm,
It's a dub dub.
yeah,
Hey.
you've been hitting the gym. You look pretty good.
thanks. Thank you,
You
honey.
said you accidentally sent one
I
to the wrong
love
person.
it.
Tell that
Well,
story. It's a great story.
not just one person. I
Oh dear.
a
Group
huge
text?
Yeah,
friend group. Yes.
a group
Gina
text.
did this?
It was devastating.
Yes.
I was
What are we talking?
actually,
Frontal? Full
yeah,
frontal?
all
Boobs?
women. No, just my rear end, just my butt.
Booty?
So
Booty
We've all
shot?
seen
booty,
a booty.
Nice.
little booty
Booty.
shot. Yep.
Very
And
nice.
Brad's nice.
I was away at a girls' weekend, and several of them were my very close friends, so that wasn't too terrible. Um, but there was also a
Mhm.
larger group of women there that I had never even met before that were all in this group text. And, we had all had our day out and we did our 5K and had our wine and all of our girl time. And then everybody retreated to bed. And I had my own room and chatting with Tony and decided I'd send him a photo. And I probably had one too many glasses of wine. I wasn't keeping track of what I had opened on my phone.
Blame it on the alcohol.
And yeah, exactly. So I took a picture and it did. He's like, "Well, are you going to send it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I sent it. It hasn't come through." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And I went running through that house, that Airbnb, like a mad woman, don't open your phones. I really, really, it may sound like I'm like super, I don't know what it sounds like, but adventurous and all that, but I'm actually a little uptight about some things, and that was incredibly embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
With just our close friends, no one would think twice about it. In fact, most of us are like, "Oh my god, that's so
we
cute. You
laugh
guys are the
about it now, but
Well,
sweetest," you
yeah,
know?
it's funny. She asked one of the
Yeah.
girls to delete
Yeah.
it, and she goes, "I'm not deleting this."
like all
She
right,
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah, and by the way, I never got that pic, so I was like,
you
"Damn."
never did,
Oh,
you
so
Well,
never did, huh?
sad.
Got to bribe one of those other
You
girls.
look like you're deprived,
Yeah,
Tony.
poor guy. Don't you feel sorry for him?
So sorry for him. Oh, I love it. That's so sweet. Yeah, honestly, that's more of an testament to how cute y'all are and how you're keeping it spicy on a regular basis through, small and large little
oh yeah,
Yeah,
gestures that you give to
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And Brad would love for me to send some pics here and there.
It,
So
believe
it's
me,
this is good. A
I,
good
I'm
reminder.
I am like, did you delete that? Have you
hmm
deleted that yet? Don't accidentally open your phone up
oh gosh,
So he's got this special
Mhm,
little,
mhm.
Remy, I think
A
we heard
hidden
you
folder.
and your lady talking about that,
Yes.
a password
Gotta have
protected
that.
little spank bank that he
Mhm.
maintains.
hmm
What I love is the fact that Tony said he initiates with his own selfie. So it sounds like you may have a little exhibitionist something happening there because not a lot of guys are just initiating with that. Can
I
you
sure do.
talk to us? Is that something that's for real for you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess, yeah. I don't know. I was in the military years back, and I heard about this nudist place. It was unofficial. It was back in Spokane, Washington. And I went, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. And I would keep my underwear on for a while. I was the only one. It was just me by myself. And I would take it off, and just felt normal and natural and, no excitement, just the thrill of it. Just, it's always been natural to me,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't, when I do something like that. And then over the years, so years ago, I started and then
Mhm.
I took Gina out for the first time to a nudist place. Uh, and we went to the front desk to sign in. And I look at her, and she's hyperventilating, just breathing and breathing. And
Well,
we walk out of there, and she's like, "This man was naked." I'm like, "Yes, it's a nudist
standing
resort."
about a foot away from me and I'm just like, oh
Oh
my
my
So
goodness,
she
what
didn't
goodness.
have
know
I
where
got
she was
myself into?
headed.
She
Well, I
did.
did know,
She
but it
did.
became very real when,
hmm
we just signing in,
hmm
hadn't even driven down the road to the, resort area. And yeah, this guy walks in nude and it was my first time.
Yeah.
I was an
Mhm.
uptight kind of, raised in a very conservative household, and the thought of someone seeing me naked that I didn't know
Mm.
growing up or as a young woman would just be devastating, mortifying to me.
See, that's my background too. I grew up in a very
Yeah.
conservative, non-naked house.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my idea. We went to this couples resort in Jamaica, and they had a nude beach. And it was my idea, but yet when it came time to walking
Mm.
towards it, all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden I was the one who was apprehensive, and
Mm.
the
Mhm.
wife was just all confident. So it's funny how the
Yeah.
roles can change when it comes time to actually go
You
Yeah.
don't know how you're
personally.
going to respond. And, Tony loves these places, and I indulge him. If we never went to one again, I'd be totally okay with that. Uh,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like, I don't feel forced to do it. I feel like, okay, I think everything's negotiable. We can talk about it, and
Right.
this is something that I can do for him. And
Right.
occasionally, it's not that regular, but
How many
We
every
went.
once in a
how many
while
places have y'all
we'll
been
go
to?
to a beach or something
Mm.
that is clothing optional, and he's a little bit freer. Um,
Three,
let's see,
More than
two, I
once?
guess.
two different
Okay.
places, but we've gone back to one a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes, we went twice last year,
Okay.
Labor Day and
Yeah.
Memorial Day, to the same place. And
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Um,
So Tony, if this is something
mm,
that you enjoy and you're into, what about it? Is it the freedom? Is it like what is it that draws you into that when Gina is like, "Okay, I'll go, no problem, but it's not my
mhm.
thing." But what is it for you?
it's just voyeuristic. I mean, and I don't mind being an
Yeah.
exhibitionist. And I know before the meeting, Remy wanted me to get naked, but I told him no. So, you know.
Oh gosh. Oh, so you're saying you have your boundaries, Tony? Is that what you're saying? You have your
Yes, yeah.
standards.
I
So
don't know. I just love it ever since, I went to the place
yeah.
in Spokane, Washington. I don't know how to describe it. It's not, I'm not hiding it. I guess it is the freedom.
Yeah.
I do think some people are born
I
with
Yeah.
just,
an
Mhm.
exhibitionist streak, you know?
mhm.
Like you either
Yeah,
have it
Mhm.
or you
I
don't.
think so.
So it's
I'm
not
Right.
I
It's
learned.
mean,
not.
you can try
It's
to teach someone, but
it's innate.
you know.
Uh-huh. You can
Well,
So
try.
Gina, how far does it go? I mean, do you come home and he's just walking around the house naked doing his thing, or is this
Mm.
more just on vacation? Or is it kind of go to the bedroom too where he's naked more often than
mhm,
you
He's
are?
not the naked guy walking around the house all the time, to be
Okay.
honest. I mean, since we still have
Yeah.
one,
mhm.
daughter at home, we're pretty conscientious
Sure.
about, she comes and goes as she pleases, of course, as she's an adult. But um, yeah, he's certainly comfortable in the nude, but he's not nude 24/7 or whenever he has the opportunity. He's not that guy. Um,
When we
yeah.
retire, I
Right.
told her she was walking around naked. I'm like, this is your uniform when you retire. When we retire, right?
When I don't have to be on any more Zoom
Right.
calls, we'll just be naked all the time.
It's like the movie
Right.
Failure to Launch when
Yeah.
the dad
Yeah.
is
Yes.
in
Yes,
the
Exactly.
naked room
the naked
feeding the
room.
pops and
I,
scaring the fish.
we do sleep naked, and I have to remember or look
Yeah,
to see if our daughter's home
Oh.
before I go downstairs, let the dog out. I got to make sure my daughter's asleep or not in the house,
sure.
so.
So once we're truly empty nesters, I
Mm,
think all bets are be off. We'll probably be
Right.
naked a little bit more often than we
you know,
currently are. I'm perfectly happy being
I
naked at
love
home.
it.
It's just out in front of people I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
how far you were asking how far it goes?
Right,
Well, like the
right.
first time we went last year, Memorial Day, she kept her bottoms on, but then by Labor Day she was totally nude. She did a great job. I gave her a good
Okay.
some I
She
gave
did
her
a
some
great
points for
job.
that one.
Okay.
Ah. Oh, I love it. Okay, are there any other ways, Tony, that you
Well, just recently,
nude?
my daughter, she's really artistic. She was going to these art classes. She had a boyfriend who was doing the art with her, and they asked the people who are drawing, the artist, if does anybody want to model, and he did it. And then she was telling me about it. I'm like, sure, I'd like to try it. Let me try it. I want to
In the
do that
nude.
in the nude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So uh, there's a art institute in town, and then there's another hipster
Okay.
area kind where they do it once a month. The Art Academy does it 2 times a week. So I text the guy who's the model coordinator, right? Some skinny, tall, uh, old white man, but he he says, "Hey, I go and I meet him, and I see their classes have just ended. He told me when to show up. Show up towards the end of the night, and they had this little guy, and he was going to show me what just happened. So he just sits naked. I'm watching this naked, skinny little guy, and when I say little, I mean his frame, not his area. But anyway,
Yeah.
but
Thank you for clarifying.
so this is what you'd be doing, Tony." And I said, "Oh, okay, great." So everyone leaves. People are breaking down their easels and the chairs they sit in. So it's just me and that guy. He goes, "Okay." So I just take off my clothes. I go up on stage. And he goes, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure you're comfortable. People say they want to do this, but they don't have,
Mm.
the guts, or, they
So
chicken
kind of a
out."
little audition.
Ah,
Yeah.
Right. So just a little audition, me and
right.
this old white man. But anyway, uh,
Wow. But you have to stay still for a
so
long time, right?
so
How
the
long are
first
you
time
just
it was on a Wednesday night.
sitting there?
I did 6 20-minute poses, the same pose, which was kind of awkward. I held a stick. I had one hand on my hip,
Oh!
and I was on
Sat
a
in a
stool,
Oh
chair.
my
Yeah.
gosh!
and one leg is down, and one leg is on the stool. Yeah. Oh, well, no, wait, it gets better. So, no.
I went as a
So,
chaperone,
You
so
mean
I went to
fluffer,
so
right?
watch.
she,
Oh,
so
I
she
love it,
walks
Gina.
in. Yes.
Well, that's what happened when I walked
Well,
in. I guess
it's
she
so
got a
funny.
little excited.
She's like, "Honey," when she walks in, she tells me later. And by the way, she didn't want to make eye contact with me the first 2 sessions. And the guy finally says,
I
"Hey,
couldn't.
do you want to draw?" And she's like, "Okay." So she doesn't make eye contact, and I'm getting angry up here because I want to laugh. I'm holding my pose. I'm like, Gina, look over here.
Yeah.
But she finally gets over it. She looks at me, and she smiles. I smile back. But that was the hardest.
Because I'm not as comfortable with nudity as
Mm,
he is.
right.
Public nudity. To
Right,
me,
right.
it was just a lot,
My
to
biggest
see him
surprise is that
sitting
you
there in
Mhm.
were
front of all
in
those
this
people.
pose. I assumed it would be like a George Costanza on a couch or
Oh yeah.
something, but
So he
you're in
gave
a
me that
muscle.
option, but he had complained about the guy who showed me last week. Said, "Oh, that guy didn't really do much." So I was motivated to do
Just
something better than the guy who I
a little
saw.
bit more
So they
exciting.
had a
Yeah.
little chase lounge like that, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good. I want to do that next time," because that part I was like
Oh my gosh.
cramping at certain points. This arm, my leg, my
Oh, I
foot.
bet.
But it's
Yeah.
so funny. After the
Yeah.
first 20 minutes, you get a break for about 5 10 minutes. Every You get a break every 20 minutes. So I go around, I put my robe on, and I go look at the drawings. I'm like, oh my God, these people aren't very good. Are they? I was wondering, are they just here to see naked bodies?
They're there to see you,
Yeah.
Tony.
So after 20 minutes goes by, okay, it's looking a little better. 20 minutes goes by. Oh my God, this looks good. They're actually doing a good job drawing me.
Yeah. They're legit artists.
Everybody had a different perspective of how I looked, but they were all me. You could tell. And then I
Mhm.
look at the end of this one lady's drawing of my private. I'm like, oh my God, she got me exactly. That's me. I could tell. I always tell her, could you tell what my
Wow.
penis looks in the lineup? She's like, of course. I could tell her body
Oh
parts in the lineup.
gosh.
So
Oh, me,
yes,
not the lady, not the drawing lady.
Not
no,
Okay.
but the
not
lady
the
drew.
lady.
I was like, man, she was, and they're only like 7 8 feet away from you. So yeah, but it was
Wow.
great. I enjoyed it. But there's on Thursday nights.
Oh my
You do
gosh.
way more poses. You do 21 1 minute poses. So you're doing this, you're doing that. You turn around,
Whoa.
time's up, the timer goes off, switch poses. So the model
Wow.
coordinator, when I first did that, he was trying to help me. It was my first time doing that Thursday night. And these artists on Thursday night were really, really good. I was blown away by some of the art that was done of me.
That's so
It
cool.
So you
That's
must be
awesome.
you must be very proud of your penis.
Yeah, I'm not,
That's the first thing that Brad said to
I'm,
me.
I'm
He
not,
laughed about this.
I'm not ashamed. I joked.
Gina, would you agree that he's very proud of his
Yeah, I'm
penis?
not.
Smacking
I
heat.
don't. He's not ashamed of it. I mean, but yeah,
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
good for
I,
No,
you,
it's
you
not.
dude.
know, men and their penises.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
I
try to
know,
figure that
girl.
out.
I know. We're not diving into that.
I'm blushing.
So, one thing
It's
to
so
note, I don't know if anybody
blushing.
has realized this. Tony is technically our first nude model on the podcast.
There you go.
Yes. I
Cheers.
love
Yeah.
it. Round of applause. That's
What's up,
amazing.
Brad?
No, so I think it's I
Can I
know.
get a
Brad
ooh and
I
a
thought
ah?
Brad would do it, but interestingly
Ooh.
yes.
Do you get
Ooh,
paid? Brad would do that as a
ah.
side hustle, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do get
I know, he
paid.
would just do
Yeah,
it
Yeah,
for
I do get
fun.
paid, and I
You
would
he's
do it
like,
for
do?
free.
we're going
So
out for drinks. I'm paying.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Nice.
afterwards.
Oh
after
my
the
gosh.
first night we did it, we went. I got my cash, and we went out for drinks, and we saw a little acquaintance of ours in the bar. It was like 25 an hour, so for 3 hours,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
there's no. So we see a girl in the bar that we know, a friend. He just finished modeling nude. I'm like, okay. She was really proud of me.
I couldn't wait to tell someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was proud of him. I thought it was cool. I mean, yes. I guess it wasn't that much
Yeah.
stepping out of,
So the nervous part was doing all the poses.
I
yeah.
know.
That was the hardest thing trying to figure
Yeah.
out. I didn't,
Like
yeah.
a
And
real model.
the third time I posed was in the hipster area of the cool part of town, and there was 40 people drawing me. The first time it was
Whoa.
5 to 6. The second time it was like 10 people, and then the last time I did it was 40 people, and so that was a little bit nerve wracking.
Tony.
But once I got into all the poses, it was fine.
And Gina, you've been to every single one of these?
Two of the three.
Two
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
three. Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say
Wow. That's
that's any type of
impressive.
sexual turn on for me. I just, it's
Hmm.
feels like a little adventure for him. Um, and I'm
Yeah.
happy to support that if he wants to do that.
Now Brad has done this before. When we were dating, not modeled, but when we were dating, he also is
Hmm.
an artist and he would go to these little drawing classes. I guess it was through a college as well, Brad. You can tell it better than I can, but they would have nude models sometimes, but not all the time.
Just because you go
What?
to a studio to draw doesn't make you an artist. Let's just
You're
No,
an artist. He's an
no,
no.
he's
excellent
right.
artist.
One of the men that drew me this on the Thursday night with the multiple poses, I looked like an alien. Did you ever see that movie,
Like
The Thing,
hentai alien?
with Kurt Russell? He had my head on just my head, but on a wavy like
I
alien
think it
type
was a
body.
Picasso
Okay.
inspired.
Oh my God! No, it was
He might have
So,
crazy.
been the guy there that was just to see naked people,
Yeah,
so when
perhaps.
yeah.
you walked in, did like
Yeah.
10 frat guys just leave because it wasn't a girl?
No, no. I think no, the
Oh, that's
model
true too.
coordinator tells them when they have a female. I don't know. He was telling the other artist, "This is what we have next week," and it was a girl, and then all the guys were like, "Oh, okay." So it was going to be a higher attendance probably for a woman. It's just my
Probably.
theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Mhm.
Probably, but until they know Tony's coming again.
Yeah.
Well, that is
Probably safe to
absolutely
say.
amazing. I mean, certainly our first nude model to join. Uh, Definitely
Oh, that's
appreciate you being
exciting.
so candid.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So that's one way that
Hmm.
you spice
Hmm.
things up in your relationship, in life. I mean, as we're getting older, I think we're all just kind of looking for ways to s- stay feeling
Yeah.
alive. We're doing different things, we're trying different things, and getting out of our normal comfort zone. And we're not a hamster on a wheel in a corporate world all the time. So that's one way,
Hmm.
Tony, that I think is I love that you're just kind of breaking out of the mold and doing something completely different. I think that's a good aspiration for all of us to not just feel like we have to do what society tells us, what the norms are. Here we are with a sex podcast. We're trying to break out of that mold.
I got a personal question regarding the beard.
Okay.
How does it affect oral sex?
It's messy.
Because
I wouldn't say.
I've never had a beard,
Yeah.
and I would assume like she doesn't like when I have stubble because it scratches her up.
Oh no,
So I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like teeny tiny stubble.
she doesn't mind it.
Let me answer that.
Okay.
I'm probably one of those, I don't know if you'd say weird women, but it seems like every woman I know loves oral sex. It's not my favorite. I can take it or leave it. Him going down on me is very infrequent. So it's really a non-issue. I mean, if I'm saying, okay, go ahead, it's because he wants to do that and he enjoys it and I can enjoy it, but it's not the thing that I'm craving or that's going to really get me off. And I don't know why. I don't have any, issues that I'm aware of, subconsciously or otherwise, about myself. I feel comfortable in my body and enjoy, sex, obviously, but it's just not my thing. So yeah, I mean, but when he does, it doesn't bother me. It's not a negative thing.
Austin Powers. And having said that, I did go down on her a few days ago, and it just,
and
I love it. I freaking love it. And it was great. Great. Sex was great.
Like
the
Brad.
last 2 times
You have that same
we
affliction.
had sex the other night, and it was freaking amazing. 2 a.m. It was just outstanding, man.
I love it when he wakes me up in the middle of the night. And
oh my
he
God.
did that, and he hasn't done that in ages. I love it.
But
wait a minute.
In the middle of the night, she would slit my throat if I woke her up at 2.
Well, I don't have little kids that are going to get me up at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was so amazing.
That is amazing.
It was really good, wasn't it, hon?
Yes, dear.
When it's really good, we're like, oh yeah, that's top 5. That's top 10.
Yes, dear.
Thanks for agreeing with me.
Yeah.
I could pull that off back
yes, dear.
pre-kids,
it was lovely.
but yeah, not now.
No, not now. No. I would not slit your throat, but it would not be a positive experience.
Reagan's
for us.
rule is just
That's
don't wake her up, but
but hey, maybe just go to town while she's
Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
Dream,
we don't
Does she have to sign something before she goes to bed or pay for release?
Probably should.
It's a Benadryl, baby. I mean, it's just, you don't want to be that guy. So
does this fall into kink category?
No,
I would
little
say
fetish.
So.
I know,
right?
CNC
That's
action. Gotta be. Okay, I would like to know more about some of your Sex Academy doings. Can we dive into some of that? What kind of classes have you guys taken?
The booty basics.
Right.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah.
Is that anal?
Yeah.
All anal?
It is.
It was okay.
Anal play. I mean, everything,
We haven't gone there yet on this podcast.
I really like
another first.
So the couples
probably don't need to go there on
We're not shy.
The couples are really interesting.
Wait, but what was the class about?
Just the
I bet the couples were bizarre.
It got kind of gross though, but you can go ahead, Gina.
What was it about? It was about, the fact that is also an erogenous zone, whether you're, someone who enjoys or wants penetration, what you can do to make it safe and comfortable, or maybe it's just using toys. That's, there was enough information to take up an hour. So, it was just an hour talking about that. And
she talked about kind of a history of anal.
Oh, you know what? There was, yeah.
Have you the phrase?
There was one. Yeah, I was like, I probably didn't need to know
toss your salad.
The history of certain phrases and slang.
On the, back there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we this we
yeah,
There's just certain words that just bring an
this
ick factor. I
Gina.
mean,
yeah.
Oh
Let's
my
move on.
Mhm.
god. Okay, but okay, so you took that class. You took a booty
Right.
basics class. I'm assuming you did a little bit of homework after that. We don't need to talk about it. But like what other classes have you taken and has that helped you explore new areas that you have not explored before? Or just kind of like taken a different
Yeah, I
turn?
mean, I think we didn't we do like a
Yes.
light BDSM class that really just talked about, consent associated with maybe being tied
Agreeing
up
to your
or being
pain level.
blindfolded or
Mhm.
being spanked,
Okay.
that sort of thing. It was, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh,
Communication,
Mhm.
negotiation, if you want to
Mhm.
play around with that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was very, very
that's fun.
tame and, very
Okay.
mild and very basic as it.
how do you insert spanking into real life? Even though it sounds fun, we'll play it occasionally, but it's not like it's an easy thing to, hey, you're putting the kids down. We're
Yeah.
going to relax. Hey, bend over. I want to spank you. It just doesn't, it's not a
Oh
natural
no,
transition for me.
it's pretty natural in this household.
Yeah, no, I I
Oh yeah,
enjoy it and he seems also to enjoy it.
I love the
But
spanker.
it's not like I like to be spanked. But not and he's a butt guy, so I mean, talk about having leg, boob, butt guys. He's
Mhm.
definitely a butt guy. So he's always smacking my ass here and there where, every time I turn around, but I just enjoy the sensation. It's not like it's you know, I would say we're very mild in that realm of um, type of
Sure,
play.
sure.
She's usually the one that gets spanked, but we had a night out the other night, and it was just our third stop. We were already feeling good. I said, "Hey, there's this red room down on the strip.
Where they have
What's a
these
red room?
ladies that
Let's go."
spank people. It's a bar. Again, it's they've got a DJ and music going, and it's almost kind of a funny thing, kind of like going to, you go to a strip bar for a bachelorette party, and it's all the
Yeah.
laughing and embarrassment of it all, and again, very,
Mm,
not a hardcore place. There was nobody with
Huh.
clothing off or anything like that, but these women would take
Okay.
you
it.
up there to the
Mhm.
middle of the room and, smack your ass a few times and, send you back, and everybody would laugh and cheer, and he went and did it. And I was like, hey, have at it. I'm not doing
It
that.
took a while to get started. It was kind of, we're
Mm.
like, what? When are they showing up? They took a while. They had a performance somewhere else, and I looked around. I'm like, man, these are a bunch of, I hate to say it, but
Just that's
degenerates.
Yeah. You know,
To put it to, it was just a motley crew, I guess.
it
Best
was
way to
an
put it.
interesting group. It probably
Okay.
wouldn't be, no, I'm not going to say probably. I not a place that I would want to go back.
Right. No, I
Um,
would not want to go back there
Sure.
yeah.
unless they had that fetish. So people are getting
Wait,
spanked.
wait, wait.
Yes,
Unless they had what?
a fetish room. So, but people are getting
Oh.
spanked. They keep taking. They put a collar on you. They drag you to the front, and everyone's getting spanked. I'm like, can I go? And she's like, I
Okay. Go
guess.
ahead.
And take
Oh
a
my
continue the
god.
story, Gina.
Well,
You're a better
just
storyteller than I am.
yeah, yeah. uh, he signed up or whatever. They would go around and say, "Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it?" And he said, "Sure, I will." And he got on the list, and eventually they called him up there. And there were three ladies, and one of them came around, and they put a collar on him, and then they made him get down on his hands and knees, and she rode his back, crawling up
All the way.
to all the way to the front where they did this. And
No.
I mean, it just, to me, it was funny. It wasn't
Mhm.
particularly tantalizing or anything. It was kind of silly.
Right.
But
Right.
What? No, it wasn't.
well, maybe it was different for you because you were up
All right.
there, and
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Was that exciting, Tony?
Yeah, yeah.
I
No.
know. That might have been
Right.
So they
exciting.
get me up, they take my wallet out of my back pocket, put it on a little
Oh.
shelf area. They make you hold on to some handles that are on the wall, and then we need a safe word. And I was joking. I said Jesus, and they go, no, that we need a better safe word. And then I said Bill Cosby. I'm like, come on. You're like, so
What the hell? Bill Cosby.
so so the first she starts going to town, right? And like, do you want it harder? I'm like, sure. I'm like, so she's again hard as can be, like,
That
Oh
is
my
are
clothing.
you
I
ready to?
gosh.
mean,
Did it hurt?
No, I I enjoyed it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and it was hard. It was,
You're
and
talking like a
then
paddle
Crop.
or like a what do you call it?
is it like a
it
little
was
whip or
a
something? Or
little whip,
yeah.
yeah, a little, yeah.
Okay.
And then she asked me, are you good to go, or are you ready to stop? And I said, sure, I'm ready. And then she goes, he wants more. She tell, so it's another girl. So like, okay, man, it was really hard. The last, but it was fine. It was
Yeah.
nothing
Were you
painful. It was
Oh, that's
just
sore
great.
enjoy.
later?
No,
Was your bottom
no,
sore? No?
no,
No,
no.
she didn't do it hard
Yeah.
enough.
But
Brad's worried about your
Isn't that
but
sweet?
no, I
bottom.
mean,
That's
she
so
did it pretty hard.
sweet.
I mean,
No bruises,
Gina
no bruises.
inspected my
Yeah.
Gina
I
inspected my buns
inspected
when,
Tony's buns.
yeah,
Gave me an excuse
yeah.
to inspect
So
his
did you
buns.
like it enough to ask her to spank you in the future?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah. I
yeah.
think he enjoyed it.
Oh. So each of you like to be spanked now.
Hmm.
Each of you? Interesting.
I think I enjoy it more than he
Oh,
does. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So is she
Oh
extra
my
naughty to
gosh.
earn some spankings? I
Yes,
mean, is she
definitely.
mischievous?
I'm like,
Okay.
I really have to get after her and say, get over here right now. You know what's going to happen.
Oh my.
Oh my god,
Ah,
I'm turned on right
Amazing.
now.
ah,
What?
Love it.
yeah.
Brad, she's ready. Addie's ready.
Oh,
I know.
Little dominatrix move?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I
We
like to
we
be
always talk
That's
about.
dominated. I
exciting.
like to be,
Hmm.
you know, yeah. If I had
I
to
need.
pick, be the dominator or being dominated, I would like to be dominated. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
again,
I I get
it's
that
low
because
key, light
yeah.
spanking and as a little warm up or
Mhm.
as foreplay, basically. Yeah, I think it's fun and exciting
Oh,
and
that's
yeah,
fun. But I get that though, because as women, I feel like we make, I mean, men do too, but in my brain, in my female brain, I feel like I make a lot of decisions during the day. I'm always, what are we doing for this? Sign them up for this summer
yeah,
school and whatever, all
being
this
in
stuff with
charge of
work and all
everything,
these
right?
things.
Yeah.
Being in charge, exactly, and being a boss at
Mm-hmm.
work. So it would
All
be
right.
kind of
Sounds
nice
like
to like
sounds like you've been a bad girl, Addie.
someone else tell me what to do.
Gosh.
Brad,
Right?
let's make it
Right?
happen.
Gosh.
Sounds like it to me.
Uh, yeah, no, I do have a job that requires a lot of decision making, being in charge, calling the
Mhm.
shots, and yeah, so it is a
Yeah.
nice change, I guess, mentally to
I
let someone
love
else be in
that.
charge.
Brad? Ooh, I
I mean,
like
I think
it.
there are
He
definitely
loves to
times
use
that I
that.
think Tony would like me to take charge and more than I do. There are times where he does say,
Sure.
oh, it'd be nice if you initiated or you took charge. And I have to push myself to do that because that's not what comes naturally to me, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. But it's worth it. We have practice. We've got plenty of years to practice,
Right. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun.
And I don't always feel like it. I mean, I think that's something that we found is good for us. Just admitting there are times that I'm just not in the mood, but I'm okay with saying, I'm not in the mood, but you know what? I'm totally okay with just laying here and letting you be the star of the show and don't worry about me. You just do what you'd like to do. I'm okay with it. I'll go along for the ride. And a lot of times, I'll end up really enjoying myself. And I find that, okay, well, I did get
Yeah.
in the mood. Maybe I wasn't
I
initially,
joke afterwards. I'm like, hey, I thought you said this is all about me.
You don't get
Yeah.
to come, lady.
It's like, not fair. That wasn't supposed to be about you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you start pulling that, then you'll have the power.
Mm,
Oh, yeah. No.
it's all about the
When
power.
we're good to go, like we said, things have slowed down a little bit. We're not gonna waste it or play any games. It's like the stars are aligning. We're both in the mood, and there's no one home, and we're not too tired, and
Mhm.
yeah, let's
Hmm.
let's do
Yeah.
this. So
Let's
yeah,
get after
exactly.
it. Okay, I am curious because we've talked about
Mm-hmm.
toys quite a bit on the show, and I can't remember, Gina, in some of our prior girl talks. Do you guys have any sort of toys that you always kind of go to? Any of your favorites?
We are not huge toy people. I have
Okay.
a couple vibrators that I use, and I mean, mainly they're just for self pleasure. Um,
Mhm.
we've bought some things over the years that I've enjoyed, but sometimes they're just more trouble than they're worth, like like a little vibrating
Hmm.
cock ring. And I don't know, there's a couple other things here and there. Like, for instance, when we'll go to one of those classes, there's a shop attached to the
Yeah.
academy where you can buy toys and things like that. And we'll pick up things here and there, little toys that we'll try out, but nothing really, significant. Tony, am I remembering correctly? Am I
No, you're
missing
not.
anything there?
Yeah, we don't need toys unless you're talking about that one time I used two little stormtroopers. Are those considered toys?
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
Oh my God.
But
All
seriously, folks.
right.
Oh my gosh. Tony
Yeah.
and
One
Gina.
one for each end.
Oh my
Yeah.
They were
gosh.
the recon team.
I love it. Oh man.
Mm.
We and this, Tony, this is exactly why we're going to have you
Mhm.
back on this
Gosh.
podcast.
Oh,
The both
thank
of
you. Give us
you
some
are
homework. We'd be glad to do it.
perfection. I love it.
Thank you for having
Absolutely.
us. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, he wants homework. He
You'll
wants
have to give
homework.
that one
Okay.
some thought.
Well, I know, I know. Well, before we close out, we always give our guests a vault question. The vault question, and these are all so random, of course, but we just happen to cover this a little bit on this episode. But this vault question is, what is your most recent booty play?
Hmm.
Booty play. I mean, o- occasionally, once in a blue moon, we'll be having sex and he will insert a finger when we're just having normal, like,
Okay.
missionary. Uh, and I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy that. And I would say that's been within the last couple of months, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why are you laughing? I
He
don't know
laughs.
Because
what
I
did
have
I
a
say that was.
because I have a great story, but it was a drunken night, and you may not approve.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if you
Go
want to tell
on.
the
Yeah.
Tony,
story, go right ahead. Okay.
tell the
Uh-oh.
story, and
Well,
if we
that's
can
okay.
edit
Yeah,
it out,
yeah.
No,
we'll
I don't
edit
mind.
it out. I'm sure.
We
We
Wink,
were
were on a
wink.
really,
podcast.
this was probably, this was
This is when
over
we were
five
young and
years
dating.
ago.
Were
We
we
had a
even
little
married?
bit more energy. We had a drunken night out, and we came home like really, feeling spicy. And we were messing around, and at one point he you know communicated to me that he would like me to,
Mm.
give him a finger, and
Nice.
I did at some point, and then
Yes.
he said two, and I follow instructions, and we did our thing, and the next morning he was
What-
like, oh my gosh, I'm so sore. What did you do to me?
She
And
said, "Wait, let me say
What
the
did you do
line.
to
Let
me?
me say the line, please."
Jeez,
She
woman.
she goes, "You said two fingers."
it's true, it happened.
Oh my God! It was.
So
I
yeah.
think Tony has a new
Oh my God, can I
nickname.
name this episode?
Two finger,
Tony Two
two finger,
Yes.
Fingers.
Tony, Tony two fingers.
Forget about it, eh?
Ah. So
Oh
now I'm
my gosh, this
like,
is
don't even
amazing.
tell me. I will never do more than one because you'll always regret it in the morning.
Gina, you gotta be gentle. You gotta ease those in. You can't just jam them up there.
I'm.
Hey, not so aggressive, Gina.
Oh, don't blame
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Don't blame
Thank you,
her.
Addie.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
She did what she was told.
Exactly.
She is a champ. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
y'all are amazing. Thank
Of
you so,
course.
so much
you're
for coming
welcome.
on. I this was the best, and I cannot wait to have y'all on again. Please, please, please say that
We
you
will.
will.
We will. Thanks for having us.
Of course, of course. I
Love you
love
too.
y'all. Oh, thank
You
you so
bet.
much. Thank you. And we had fun with Gina and Tony, and we hope you all enjoyed that as well. And until then, we are wishing you all the best of your very own suburban sex.